hating dogs so much that you'd go out of your way to harm them. But then one conversation with one of the world's most powerful men completely changes your perspective. This is exactly what happened to a man who once had a deep-seated hatred for dogs until a life-changing lesson from none other than Elon Musk. Elon Musk, the billionaire entrepreneur known for revolutionizing technology and space travel, isn't just changing the world with his companies. His words have also had a profound impact on people's lives in unexpected ways. In today's story, we're diving into one of those surprising moments when Musk's influence turned an entire mindset around. And we're talking about a man who was once a notorious dog hater. Stay with us as we explore how this man's heart was transformed by a simple yet powerful life lesson from Elon Musk. This isn't just a story about dogs. It's about changing hearts, overcoming biases, and learning the value of empathy. If you've ever wondered how one conversation could change someone's entire perspective, this video will show you exactly how that can happen. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand how Elon Musk managed to turn this man into a dog lover, but you'll also discover the deeper lesson Musk taught him, a lesson that could change the way you view the world too. You won't want to miss how a moment of kindness can spark a transformation. Welcome to our channel, Craze TV. If you enjoy stories like these, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. Let's dive into this incredible story now. This man had always been terrified of dogs, a fear that went deep into his core. It wasn't just a dislike, it was an intense visceral reaction every time he saw a dog. His fear stemmed from a childhood experience. He had been bitten by a dog when he was young, leaving him with both physical scars and emotional trauma. For years he carried that moment with him, shaping his view of all dogs as dangerous and unpredictable. The memory of the sharp pain and the sense of helplessness lingered, fueling a distrust that grew over time. As he got older, his fear transformed into outright animosity. It wasn't just a simple dislike, it was a belief that dogs as a species were a threat to his safety and well-being. Whenever he encountered a dog, whether in a park, on the street, or even in a friend's home, he would go out of his way to avoid them, sometimes reacting aggressively in an attempt to ward them off. He saw no reason to give dogs the benefit of the doubt. After all, his own experience had been painful and terrifying. To him, all dogs were simply unpredictable and dangerous creatures, and he had no interest in changing that view. This negative attitude affected his relationships as well. Friends and family began to notice his intense discomfort around dogs, and it created a barrier between him and others. Conversations about pets or plans to meet up with dog owners often led to awkward moments or arguments. His loved ones couldn't understand his hostility, and he grew frustrated with their attempts to change his mind. His bitterness toward dogs wasn't just an isolated issue. It seeped into his social interactions, making him more closed off and less willing to connect with people who had different perspectives. People around him would try to reason with him, but the man's anger toward dogs was rooted in deep personal fear. It wasn't just about the animals themselves, but rather a reflection of his past trauma. He believed that his fear of dogs made him more cautious and pragmatic, even though it limited his world in subtle ways. The tension between his own emotions and the expectations of those around him created a constant sense of conflict. Each interaction, every time someone tried to introduce him to the idea that not all dogs were dangerous, only reinforced his resistance. It was clear his heart had been closed off and his mindset had hardened over the years. One day, by chance, the man found himself at a tech event in California, a conference where Elon Musk was scheduled to speak. It wasn't an event he would have typically attended, but he was curious about new advancements in technology. He had little interest in the specific topics being discussed, but the idea of hearing Musk, the visionary behind Tesla and SpaceX, intrigued him. As the day went on, the man found himself sitting in the audience, surrounded by innovators and entrepreneurs, listening to Musk share his latest ideas. But it wasn't just Musk's groundbreaking work that captivated him. It was the way Musk spoke about life challenges and empathy. After the speech, there was a networking session where Musk mingled with the crowd. The man, not one to shy away from a conversation, found himself standing nearby when Musk approached. He didn't expect anything life-altering to come out of this encounter, but as fate would have it, it was here in this casual exchange that Musk's words would challenge his deeply held beliefs. They struck up a conversation about a range of topics: technology, philosophy, and even personal experiences. The man, somewhat guarded, expressed his distaste for dogs, recounting the traumatic incident from his childhood. Musk listened carefully, his face calm and thoughtful. Then, with a quiet yet powerful tone, he shared a lesson that would stay with the man for years. He spoke about the importance of understanding not just technology, but life itself. He said, "We often judge things based on our past experiences or fears. But real progress happens when we challenge those fears, not just in technology, but in life. Empathy is about opening your heart to the unknown, to something you've never understood or been afraid of." The man didn't expect such a deep and personal response. Musk wasn't offering a lecture on how to love dogs, or even telling him that he was wrong. Instead, he was inviting him to rethink his approach to fear and hatred. Musk explained how growth comes from seeing the world from different perspectives, even if it's uncomfortable. The idea of confronting one's fears in the case of dogs was not just about the animals. It was about confronting the bigger barriers in life. The man stood there absorbing every word. He'd never expected a conversation about his past fear to turn into a lesson in empathy. It wasn't about justifying his hatred of dogs, but recognizing that his perspective, shaped by pain, had limited his growth as a person. Musk's words didn't immediately change everything, but they planted a seed, one that would slowly begin to grow. Musk's words were simple, yet they resonated deeply with the man. As they spoke, Musk looked him in the eye and said, "The world isn't about avoiding things that make us uncomfortable. It's about learning to understand them." The man could feel the weight of those words, as if they were challenging him to rethink everything he thought he knew. Musk wasn't just talking about dogs, he was talking about the way people approach fear, pain, and even the things they don't understand. He went on, "You can't change the world by only interacting with things you're familiar with. The real magic happens when you allow yourself to step into the unknown with an open heart." These words struck a chord. Musk wasn't pushing him to suddenly love dogs, but he was urging him to be open to the idea of change. He encouraged the man to consider how small shifts in his perspective could lead to big changes in his life, even if those changes were uncomfortable at first. Musk explained how embracing something different, even something as simple as a dog, could be a path to growth. "Imagine what happens when you let go of your preconceptions," Musk said. "What if you let yourself experience life without being driven by fear?" The man felt an unexpected wave of reflection. Musk wasn't speaking from a place of judgment. Instead, he was showing him that empathy and compassion didn't require grand gestures. They were about small, deliberate choices in how we perceive the world around us. The more Musk spoke, the more the man began to see how his rigid thinking had limited him. He realized that his fear of dogs wasn't just a reflection of his past. It was a mindset that was holding him back from fully experiencing the world. Musk's message was clear: change doesn't have to be drastic, but it does require a shift in how we look at things. If he could change the way he viewed dogs, maybe he could change the way he viewed other aspects of life too. "Start small," Musk advised. "Open your mind to new experiences, even if they challenge your comfort zone. That's how you grow. That's how you change." The man stood there listening to these words, and for the first time in a long while he wondered if his life could be different if he simply changed the way he thought. Musk's lesson wasn't about fixing his past, it was about giving him the tools to create a new future. After hearing Musk's advice, something inside the man began to shift. At first, the change was subtle, a quiet internal battle between his ingrained fear and the new perspective Musk had planted in his mind. He started questioning his long-held beliefs, wondering if he had been too quick to judge all dogs based on his past experience. For the first time, he considered that maybe there was more to the story, more to dogs than just the fear and pain he'd experienced as a child. He started by taking small steps. He went to a local park where he knew people often walked their dogs. At first, he kept his distance watching from afar, but he no longer felt the same intense urge to flee or lash out. He noticed the way the dogs interacted with their owners, the way they seemed happy, loving, and loyal. There was a certain peacefulness about them that he hadn't noticed before. His fear began to soften, replaced with curiosity. He still wasn't ready to get close, but for the first time, he didn't feel the instinctive need to avoid them. As the weeks went by, the man pushed himself further. He spent more time observing dogs in different environments, even taking walks with friends who had well-behaved pets. One day, he visited a local animal shelter. He wasn't planning to adopt, but something about the experience opened his heart in a way he hadn't anticipated. He saw dogs who had been abandoned, dogs who had been through hardships far worse than his own. It was in that moment that he realized how much he had been missing out on. These animals weren't enemies. They were living beings with their own emotions, struggles, and capacity for love. Gradually, the man became more comfortable around dogs. He started spending time with a friend's dog, a calm and gentle Labrador, who seemed to sense the man's hesitation. The dog would approach him slowly, allowing him to take his time. Over time, he allowed himself to pet the dog, then even play with it. Each positive interaction with the dog chipped away at his old mindset, teaching him more about empathy, patience, and trust. Eventually, the man made the decision to adopt a dog of his own. It wasn't an easy choice, and it didn't happen overnight, but the change in his heart was undeniable. He found a rescue dog, a timid and shy golden retriever, and brought it home. The first few days were filled with small adjustments, but the bond they began to form was unlike anything the man had ever experienced. His heart, once hardened by fear and resentment, was now open to the love and companionship that only a dog could offer. As he spent more time with his dog, the man began to realize that Musk's words weren't just about dogs. They were about learning to approach life with a sense of openness and empathy. By allowing himself to be vulnerable, to question his fears, he had not only transformed his view of dogs, but also his entire approach to life. He had become more compassionate, not just toward animals, but toward people himself and the world around him. As time passed, the man found himself genuinely enjoying the company of his dog. The bond they shared grew stronger each day. He began to notice the simple joys of having a dog, the wagging tail that greeted him at the door, the moments of quiet companionship as they sat together, and the unconditional love his dog offered without hesitation. His life was no longer filled with fear or resentment toward animals, but rather a deep appreciation for their loyalty and warmth. He realized that his negative feelings had only held him back from experiencing the fullness of what life and companionship had to offer. His transformation began to show in other areas of his life as well. He became more open and accepting of others, especially those who shared a love for dogs. Conversations that once made him uncomfortable now flowed easily as he found common ground with people who had pets. His friends and family, who had been puzzled by his earlier hostility toward dogs, saw a drastic change. They noticed that he had become kinder, more patient, and more willing to connect with others on a deeper level. His relationships flourished, and the sense of isolation he had once felt slowly faded. With his newfound love for dogs, the man began to see the world through a different lens. He started to approach challenges with a mindset of empathy and understanding, much like he had learned to do with his dog. His outlook on life became more positive, more open to the idea that change was not only possible, but also rewarding. He realized that his fears had once held him back, but by letting go of those fears and embracing a new perspective, he had unlocked a world of possibilities. The joy and fulfillment he found in his dog reinforced the truth of Musk's words. Small shifts in perspective could lead to profound changes in life. This transformation was a testament to the power of kindness both toward animals and people. By being open to change, the man not only learned to love dogs, but also discovered the value of kindness and compassion in every aspect of his life. His journey from dog hater to dog lover served as a powerful reminder that change, even in its smallest form, has the power to shape a person's happiness, relationships, and view of the world. Elon Musk's words had a profound impact on this man, showing him that a simple shift in perspective could completely transform his life. What once seemed like an insurmountable fear, a deep-rooted hatred for dogs, became an opportunity for growth, understanding, and compassion. Musk's message about embracing empathy and challenging our fears resonated deeply, teaching this man that change starts with a willingness to see the world differently. His journey serves as a powerful reminder that even the smallest changes in mindset can lead to profound life-changing experiences. And the great news is, this isn't just something that happened to one person. Anyone can embrace change, challenge their fears, and open their hearts to new experiences. No matter what you're facing in life, shifting your perspective and choosing kindness can unlock a world of possibilities. So ask yourself, what can you change in your own life today to move closer to the person you want to become? If you're inspired by this story, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Craze TV for more stories that can inspire positive change. Embrace kindness, challenge your mindset, and remember, change begins with you.